some cask strength sweetness.
That's right. This week we're looking at a 20-year-old cask strength single grain whiskey from Two Stacks that was finished in a Pear Brandy cask.
Now that sounds good.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt. I'm the whiskey nerd.
I'm Rose and I'm the whiskey noob.
And like we said, this week we're looking at a 20-year-old single grain that's cask strength from Two Stacks that was finished in a Pear Brandy cask.
I don't even know the last time I would have drank something this old.
Yeah, I mean it is definitely
20 years.
Oh, you can actually see some of like because they don't really. This is natural strength, natural
Is
color.
there stuff in there?
There's not. It's like a little bit of not residue, but like a little bit of like the pear brandy, like the sugar obviously kind of came through into the whiskey because they don't chill filter their whiskeys. They don't like do anything to it, so it is quite natural.
That's cool.
They just kind of filter out any bits of pieces of cask that come through, so you get a little bit of like the actual character that comes through. So this here is a special enough whiskey. So a few months back we visited the Two Stacks distillery.
It was really cool.
I almost say distillery because they're not actually a distillery. They're bonders and blenders. They take good whiskey and either blend it with other whiskeys or finish it in an interesting way to make something kind of new and special. When we visited their kind of warehouse, we were able to crack open a cask.
Yeah.
And it was actually this whiskey right here.
It was so cool.
So we kind of had. We knew that it was gonna be good when we tried it. It was very, very tasty. This is a special edition it's a single kind of cask that's exclusive to a single store here. And so it's a bottle pick or a store pick, I guess. It's for the carry out off license in Killarney. It was for their 20th anniversary, so they have a 20-year-old single grain, which is very, very special. I think there were only 282 bottles at cask strength of 58.5%.
I just got tingles through my body.
5 yeah. So it is actually, I just checked there this morning, it is actually still available on their website. So I'm not sure how many bottles are left, but there are some bottles that are left on their website. It's very nice. So I'll just kind of go through the kind of, I guess, history of the bottle. Yeah. So it spent the first 20 years and 4 months of its life in a first fill bourbon cask. Okay. So it's going to give you lots of like that sweetness, bit of honey, bit of butterscotch, bit of caramel, bit of citrus, a bit like orange citrus. Yeah. And then it went for 6 months in a Pear Brandy cask.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's almost 21 years old. So it's 20 years, 10 months old. Very, very good choice, I think, because Two Stacks, they got a load of these kind of brandy casks. They had a raspberry brandy, which is very interesting, but very, very strong. They had a cherry, apple. They had loads of different types of brandy casks, and they chose a Pear Brandy for the single grain because single grain can be quite light. Yeah. It can be quite overpowered by strong flavours. So I think going for the Pear Brandy cask is a good choice because that'll kind of pair well with the flavour of the single grain. It does come from the Cooley Distillery, and they're known for making like solid. They're not like mass produced. Well, they do make a lot of like mass produced grain for going into blends, but they also make some good quality single grain that can stand up on its own. I think that's what we've got right here.
Oh, I'm excited!
I think that's all there is to say about that whiskey.
Let's smell it.
Let's go in for the nose. Here on this 20-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
Single grain. Cheers.
Cheers. That's got layers.
Yeah, it is. Like, so first off, you get this big hit of the vanilla bean, like that rich kind of natural vanilla flavor. Yeah. But obviously there's going to be some apples, some pears, obviously some apples and pears, that orchard fruit vibe.
There's definitely orchard fruit vibes in here.
But they're not like, for me at least, they're not like raw. It's like they've been stewed with that brown sugar, cinnamon, baking spice. You know when you make like an apple pie, like the filling for the apple pie, where you stew the apples and you cook them down, it releases their sugar and they get all that extra fruitiness. Yeah. That kind of flavor with pears and orchard fruits.
Yeah, it smells like it's clean, like it's a finished product in terms of like you're talking about things being baked down rather than fresh fruit maybe.
Yeah, I mean it is 58.5%. That's what is it, almost 120 proof. That's like 117 proof in American terms.
So you get a little bit of like that alcohol-y, ethanol-y bits, but not like uncomfortable.
My whole nose in there, and it's not like burn, like some cask strength whiskies like that, like they burn your nose a little bit and you're gonna go, oh, I can't really smell anything now, like.
But this, you're like, what? I'm kind of like, what's the story gonna be? What kind of journey are we about to go on?
Because like I said, single grain, it is kind of light in flavour. It's a really nice flavour, but it is kind of light, so it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
So here at cask strength, you're just getting all that, like a little bit of, like I said, a bit of citrus, a little bit of oak, because it did spend almost 21 years in barrels.
Yeah, true.
So it's going to have a little bit of that flavour coming through, but quite nice, quite approachable.
Like a hint of sweetness.
Oh, there is. There absolutely, like a bit of butterscotch, bit of like that vanilla with the caramel, the brown sugar, that kind of like.
But light, maybe like a light honey or something.
I could see that, yeah. Like it's definitely sweet, definitely enjoyable. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but there's definitely hints. Like there are layers in here, and I want to know what.
So if you want to know what, do you want to go in for the palate?
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Sláinte. That is a story.
Okay.
You go first. I'm still trying to comprehend it.
Like when it first hit my tongue, I got this. I didn't really get a huge amount of alcohol. That did come later as it spread out. I got this just really like rich caramel like dipped pear, like really sweetness up front, followed immediately by that apple. And as it spread out across my palate, I got a big hit of ABV, which brought with it the spice, which brought it with it like baking spice, nutmeg, cinnamon, bit of cardamom, like those kind of heavy duty baking spices with that alcohol, and then a little bit of oak. Like so, first approach really sweet, then it came out and that ABV got tingly, got a little bit hot, and then spicy.
Oh.
What did you get?
I got ABV first.
ABV first.
Yes, but it did go away pretty quickly. It went ABV, and then I didn't actually get the spices next. I got like cleanliness, like the pear bits, like how pears are light in flavor. I started getting those light flavors first, and then it moved on into the spices for me, and kind of like the spice and sweetness. Like if you had like an apple pie with all of those kinds of spice and everything, but you had it more of like on a caramel covered apple, like maybe added like nutmeg or cinnamon onto that caramel apple.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah. I went in for a second sip there, definitely got the ABV first, so maybe like as it sits with you, and then I let it sit on my tongue for a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely got a lot of spices.
Okay.
A lot of oak, a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like you're saying that not heat with the ABV, like, but like a bit of tingle, and like you said, it was quite clean. Like you could tell it was high proof.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it wasn't uncomfortable. It was nice. You could sit with it. You had, there's a lot of flavor here, and then you can kind of unpack it a little bit. You can go, there's my really cooked pears. My like, almost like, I got a bit of like star anise, like again.
Yeah, like there were a lot of spices
a lot of different.
there.
There's not just the standard cinnamon, nutmeg, clove. Like I said, a bit of cardamom, bit of star anise. Like it's really
like this is a complex girl right here.
Yeah, it is spicy, but not like a. I don't want to say it's not like it's spicy, like it's hot. Like it's spicy, and there's lots of spices.
Yeah, exactly. But there is like the cleanliness, like the clean fruits. You know, it is like I don't know how you can get so many flavors into a single sip. Like,
yeah,
this is wild. Like I really like this. This is like art.
It's like art. Yeah, it is in their old style of bottles. I think they've changed their new bottles now, but it's still a nice little bottle. It's just something you can sit with. Yeah. With a tiny little sip.
Yeah.
And get a lot of flavor. Like there, I went in for a third sip. I got much more oak that time around. Yeah. Like it's every time you go into it, you can almost look for something different. You can look for the fruits. Look for the spices. Look for the oaky character. You can kind of go in for something different. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Well, you have another sip. Tell me if there's anything else you get there on the palate.
I got spices first this time, but I think it's still like it's the same story. Like I'm still revisiting it, but every time it's like slightly different areas of focus, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll go in for the finish.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers, Sláinte.
So, on the finish, like the more I kind of sipped it, the more I tasted, the more that oak came up. Yeah. And I get more of those oak tannins on the finish. But they're not like overpowering like that core sweetness, the orchard fruits, the apples, the pears, the caramel, a bit of honeycomb there. It's not really overpowering those core notes.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's there, bit of oak tannins, because again, almost 21 years in cask, so it does have a lot of that oak kind of influence to it. Yeah. But it's not the only thing in the finish. Like, you have the oak tannins kind of here as a contrast against those sweet notes. I wouldn't, it's weird, like it's quite a clean finish. At least,
it is, like it's not, like for the ABV, I was expecting to feel it all the way down, and I didn't. It was like, not like a short finish or anything like that, maybe because I was expecting to feel like a burn, and I didn't get it, you know? Yeah. But it was a very, it was a very clean finish, very well done, and definitely like, it was just very pleasant. Yeah, like I'm getting like the warmth, obviously it's almost 60% alcohol, so you're gonna get that kind of warmth, but it's not like a burn. It's not, and I have this kind of, like it's not, like as I'm talking, I'm still able to taste it, but because it's quite light, so it's weird. So I'd say it's a long finish with light flavors. Because it's like, it is a single grain, so it's gonna be light. It is it's got Pear Brandy as like the finishing cask, so that's again gonna be a light flavor, but it is at that high proof, so it gives you that nice length, but not super strong. It's not like a big old hit of sherry or big old hit of port. You get this big bang of flavor. It's just lingering, and I'm like, I feel like I've eaten like a slice of apple pie or pear crumble or something a little while ago, and I still got that taste in my mouth. Yeah, I agree. Kind of, it's like you've had like the pie like maybe an hour or two ago, but you're like, yummies, it's still there.
Yeah, so it's light flavors that hang on a long enough time.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice way of putting it.
Before we give our final thoughts on this whiskey, if you're new here, scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. We put out whiskey reviews like this every Wednesday. We put out cocktail recipes featuring whiskey every Friday, so if you want to see those, make sure you hit subscribe, and while you're down there, leave us a comment and say if there's any kind of whiskeys you want to see us review in the future, or if you have any cocktail recipes, because I'm always on the lookout for new cocktail recipes. But now, do you want to know how much this whiskey is?
Oh god, yes.
€140.
Okay, I knew it had to be over 100 easily.
Yeah, no, I did get, I bought a couple of things from Carryout. They were having a sale a little while back, a couple months back, and I did buy it, and I think they got like a 10% off, which is €14. So
hey, €14 off.
But again, for a almost 21-year-old,
I would expect it to be more
single
expensive.
Grain at cask strength, I think that's a fair price. I don't think it's a budget whiskey.
Oh god, no.
I don't think it's a whiskey that everyone will buy, because it is high strength, high price, and some people don't like single grain, like they think it's not so great. I personally really like single grain. I love it. I'm a good advocate for single grain. Yeah. I think it's a fair price. I just gotta note that it is a high price. Yeah. But it is also, I think, pretty high quality.
I think it's very high quality. It's complex in all the right ways. Yeah. Definitely get this. I would say if you share it, don't just share it with anyone. This is like a best friend kind of whiskey.
Yeah. Or this would be something where maybe a few people go in for like a bottle share.
Yes.
Where like, let's say you and 10 people go in and you each pay €14 and you get like 2 or 3 or 2.5 drams of this whiskey, and you can share it out.
That's a really nice idea.
And that way you can enjoy the whiskey, you can share it out, but you're not paying that amount of money, so you can enjoy it more. I've done bottle shares with people before where I'm like, I'm not sure if I like this whiskey, so I do that. We all go in, we buy, it was like 5 of us, so we each get like a fifth of a bottle. Still a fair amount of whiskey, but it just lets you try out a whiskey that maybe you're not sure about. Because, like I said, there was only, 282 bottles of this, so it's not super like available. It's not going to be available forever, and it was a special edition. But yeah, I like it. I enjoy single grain whiskies. Definitely one that I think we'll share out and we'll enjoy ourselves.
Most definitely.
But it's
best friends.
Yes, it is. It is a little higher price. So I just wanted to note that it's not going to be for everyone, but I really do like this one.
I really like it as well.
Yeah, so I think we're going to keep on enjoying it, and we'll see you next time. Sláinte.
Bye bye.